Coraline Moonstride slid into the world just before sunrise on 26 September 1998 inside a clinkerboard cottage balanced above the tide pools of Friday Harbor in Washington's San Juan Islands. Outside, kelp gulls argued over scraps at the stern of an early crab boat, while her mother, a touring ukulele soul singer who keeps pressed sweet pea petals between spare strings, murmured a soft four-chord vamp that made the dock pollies thrum. Her father was a night ship harbor electrician who sketches tiny cloud narwhals in the white space of maintenance forms. He leaned until his beard brushed Coraline's cheek and pledged that fog squalls, rumor gusts, and skimpy garment grids would always shift for any spirit bold enough to stand full-sized. Curves have spiraled through the Moonstride line as comfortably as sea otters curl among kelp canopies, so nobody panicked when baby Coraline split her second flannel wrap before the kettle spat its first hiss. Granny Elsa snipped a retired mainsail into panels, stitched them over the tears, then chuckled that cloth is cheap, while teaching a child to shrink can cost her whole archipelagos of dawn. Grade school hallways blended pencil dust, smoked salmon bagels, and brine sneaking through cracked windows. Coraline already towered half a head above her classmates, blocking the projector beam anytime she mapped constellations on the pulled-down sky chart. One mist-hung recess, two boys hop-step circles, shouting "Ferry barge" each time her rubber boots thudded a chalk square. That evening, she prowled the rack line collecting soda caps polished satin by Serge, threaded them on fishing leaders, stitched the chiming chain down her seafoam hoodie, and stepped into class at dawn scattering prism freckles across ceiling tiles. A volunteer reading coach filmed 7 shaky seconds on a prepaid flip phone, posted the shimmer to an infant video nook, and by lunch, 15,000 strangers applauded the girl who forged teasing into beacon sparkle. Coraline printed one, promise in violet ink beside her subtraction drills. Clouds crowd only until you flash them bright enough to scatter. Weekends belonged to the pier where her mother's ukulele riffs braided with clanging crab pots, espresso hiss, and charter skippers barking tide windows. Store jeans clamped halfway at Coraline's thighs, so she swapped tip jar coins for sun-bleached gill net, unraveled it into rope, crocheted high-rise culottes with squid ink, and posed at tangerine sunset against rusted bollards while her cousin snapped grainy photos. She funneled every shot into a diary she called Harbor Lantern. During the same week, a scroll-happy photo app reached patchy island towers. Captions flicked from Pacific Northwest slang to plain truths like curves anchor storm gusts steadier than seawalls. Before 16 candles flickered, she tallied 52,000 unseen hearts double-tapping each amber frame, proof that distant screens hush cafeteria whispers faster than any hall monitor's hush. A marine renewable energy scholarship swept her down to Oregon State. Daylight dissolved inside Wave Tank Labs, and nights belonged to a 24-hour chowder van glowing neon lime under Douglas fir shadows. The heat lamp became her lone softbox. Between smoky bacon orders, she filmed 90-second reels, folding parchment into sea star barrettes while decoding dart rotation in a voice half surf hush, half luck. One clip-layered harbor seal chirps on a lo-fi shuffle while she chain-stitched reflective mooring rope into thrift denim. 46 hours later, the counter tumbled past 1.3 million. Cascadia-style pages dubbed her the Chowder Van Couturier, yet every sponsor mail jammed at size 16. Coraline slid each pitch into a folder labeled shrinking nets, wiped clam broth from her cuff, and ladled another bowl. Arch Equinox delivered an email from Columbia Sportswear inviting her to co-design a Tempest shell capsule titled Sound Pulse. She answered with 3 basalt solid terms: patterns, must reach a 60-inch hip, half the crew hired from community college, fashion grads, and 10% of net profit seeded into kelp forest reseeding along Washington's outer coast. Columbia signed before dawn silvered the lab skylight. The shoe opened at dawn on a shingle spit where river otters bounced through eelgrass. Coraline guided curvy paddle surfers across mirror water while a drone etched lazy infinity signs overhead. When the lookbook went live, every extended size coat vanished in 41 hours across 27 countries. Harbor Lantern vaulted beyond 700,000 bright points. Still smelling of smoked paprika, she popped her phone atop a chowder pot lid and live streamed tear-blurred thanks beneath buzzing fluorescence. Let me swipe in a quick favor now. If this tide already nudges your ribs, press subscribe this moment. One gentle click secures your place at the rail so next week's swell finds your feed before algorithm wines decide who deserves the spray. Spotlight shimmer soon summoned rumor gulls. A gossip vlog claimed Coraline cinched rigid plaits round her waist under those Columbia coats. At sunrise, she paddled a cedar board beyond the kelp fringe, stood steady in sports bra and linen shorts, traced every stretch stripe with crushed bougainvillea, and riffed a bluesy uke run that silenced seabirds mid-wing. 10 million viewers reposted the jam-tagged bougainvillea-proof, brushing magenta dust over their own curves until that rumor sank beneath slack tide. For wages, ready with capsule royalties and whipped into Moonstride butter, a custard blinking spruce tip butter, huckleberry seed oil, and mica sparks that glow pearl when foam flashes spark. 19,000 tins cooled on her father's chart desk, lids tied with braided same line, each tag reading moisturize your horizon. Inventory drained in 82 minutes, lifting $199,000, 20%. Launched beacon grants that deliver industrial surgers and hydrophone kits to plus-size teens in shoreline schools from Port Angeles to Gold Beach. 8 months later, 36 grant winners floated a fashion and whale song parade aboard a retro tug wrapped in LED seaweed, streaming to sunrise anchors from Nairobi to New York. Seattle Fashion Week minted fresh harbor lore when a backstage blower ripped her emerald mesh gown top to hem 90 heartbeats before runway. Coraline ripped neon dock rope off a stanchion, laced the tier like hiking eyes, and strode the walk as if that splice lived in every sketch. Camera shutters cracked like crab claws, Vogue Cascadia crowned it rope cadence, and another million lantern voyagers surfaced before after-party vinyl even spun. Trouble circled back when a fired assistant leaked cropped emails implying she demanded geoduck sliders and chauffeured hovercraft for her rescue puffin named Nimbus. She posted the entire chain, revealing only refillable water urns, lentil stew for crew, and cash and tablets for deaf stylist. That month's affiliate yield $137,000. Flowed into biodegradable crab trap pilots along. Fans repeated her peer mantra, receipts shine brighter than rumor grit, until hush settled like dawn fog. Midsummer metrics glowed. 6.9 million Instagram companions, 3.4 million real voyagers, and 2 million steady channel subscribers. Engagement hovering near 10% and sending brand planners back to blank sheets. Cartier invited her to headline a towpath surge vignette filmed inside North Head Lighthouse Lens. She accepted once Cartier pledged therapy stipends for razor clam shuckers battered by record storm seasons. The finished reel, her wrist scattering amber shards across iron ribs, became Cartier's most saved posts of the quarter. Early keeps her Valashore. Twice monthly she streams Dock House Groove. Mom thumps bass under cafe lights, Dad recites cloud haiku, and Coraline flips thrift denim while goals squabble overhead. One broadcast hit 9 million when Nimbus waddled through powdered sugar and sneezed a glitter burst on the lens. A seabird refuge now sponsors every stream, tagging rehabilitated puffins with solar beacons, financed by Moonstride butter. Butter revenue breezed past 12 million by year 2. Coraline leased a dormant salmon smokehouse, carved skylights through corrugated tin, and hired furloughed deckhands plus design grads to whip custard and knot lids during midday stretch dance sets to uke house loops. Efficiency consultants begged for shrink bands. She echoed her mother's lesson. Fingertips preserve stories long after robots forget. And rope ties stayed. Mental Heel's honesty laces her feed. Basalt bluff portraits sit beside Chowder Vaughn selfies, captioned, same sky, different weather. She shares breathing loops recorded in sea caves, printable resilience sheets in English and lush shoot seed, and sliding scale counseling codes. 129,000 readers name her shoreline openness their first calm harbor. Community rides glimmer under crushed shell paint. Hundreds wheel the path at dusk wearing Moonstride butter on shoulders and LED drift glass tassels on spokes. Ticket funds enlarge beacon grants and place wheelchair snorkel lifts at tide pool coves. Chowder huts ladily clambo spike 15% on ride nights. Coraline pedals lead on a vintage cruiser with Nimbus plush bungy fronts pausing to retie any rider's loose lay. She is polishing a memoir called Currents Keep Names for 11 language shelves next spring, while a documentary crew traces her blueprint to turn retired weather boys into floating maker labs for seaside high schools. Puma's wide to wave lantern sneaker launches next quarter, threaded with reflective rope and cushioned in algae foam, pouring 10% of revenue into beacon ceilings all around the Salish Sea. A second nudge rolls in on the breeze. If that subscribe button still glows scarlet, flip it gentle gray right now. A tap locks your berth so the next tale streams into your notifications, ahead of algorithm ripples. When playback hushes wander down to the description, waiting there, fresh jars of Moonstride butter, the lightning lane for beacon grant entry, tonight's Dockhouse Groove playlist, and a discreet compass. A research-rooted kit of conversation sparks and calm confidence drills that maps the clearest course toward lasting love and the most dependable way to help any woman you meet feel genuine intrigue. 3-0 game. The bottle cap spine row cadence gown rescue or nimbus glitter sneeze sturdy grin. Smash that like heart, spill your brightest ripple in the comments, and share this voyage with a friend who sells hang slack. Every curve redirects currents, every scar refracts moonlight, and the Pacific bows to anyone planting boat boots on the pier and greeting tomorrow eyes wide. One last whisper before the tide rolls out. Subscribe right this second, claim your rel, follow the love link in the description, and meet me on the next Rising Swell when another story flickers beyond the breakers and courage calls your name again.